LocalBozo.com is proud to have with us as our guest for an exclusive interview WWE Superstar making his film debut in the upcoming No One Lives, released May 10th, Brodus Clay. Brodus, thanks so much for some time today, man.
Well, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me.
Brodus, let's talk first about No One Lives. It's your first real acting gig. Talk about the filming of the movie and how you got tapped for the role of Ethan.
We'll start with the easy part, how I got casted for it. Basically, we just came off of Extreme Rules, and I had got busted in the head with a ladder, so I had about 13 staples on the top of my head, and I was stretching out, and a gentleman by the name of John Laurinaitis, who was in charge of talent at the time, he came down and said, "Hey, there's a movie project," and I was like, "Yes," and he was like, "Do you want me to finish?" I'm like, "No, I'm in. I'll do it." He's like, "Okay, well, you'll fly out next week for casting or whatever." And I was like, "All right, cool." So I get a chance to audition for a movie. Awesome, great opportunity. I didn't know they were actually going to dip me in for the bodysuit in the movie. So it was kind of an awesome surprise. So I realized once I was there and I was getting dipped in, and they're spending all this money making another me, that I had the part. So I was excited about it, and that was probably the coolest part about it. And then just filming, like being a part of a horror movie is just kind of cool. Like you get a death scene, and it's a very simple yet complicated movie. And I just love the way it's done in terms of like it's done with film. It's shot in film. It's not digital. The special effects are actually special effects, not computer generated. So it's like you get more of a personal feel and like how clever the behind the scenes guys were to put everything together. And my character Ethan basically was the muscle and the enforcer behind his older brother Hogue, who runs this gang in the backwoods of I think we were in Louisiana, and they like extortion, robbery, like just not a very good group. And they robbed and kidnapped the wrong guy, and which is Luke Evans, who ends up being a psychopath serial killer who had his own agenda going on and had his own hostages going on. So it's got a lot of twists and turns. It's kind of an interesting story. So it's like bad guy meets worser bad guy, that old classic tale, and just very interesting movie. A lot of blood.
Now, you touched on this a little bit, but the film is rated R. It's about a gang of killers that kidnap a couple on the verge of a trip across the country. Now, the character you play is sort of at odds with the kid-friendly role that you portray on WWE TV. You sort of mentioned that you grabbed it just because it was available, but was there any trepidation on your part to accept this role?
At the time, when I took the role, I was Alberto Del Rio's bodyguard, and the character I was playing was a villain. So this was filmed almost 2 years ago. So the Funkasaurus hadn't been born yet. But I do believe that in life you can't do everything with your parents. And I think the same thing with role models and people that you look up to or entertain. Like this is definitely an after 10 o'clock movie where most kids should be in bed. It is rated R, and they would need their parents to watch something like that. But I would say a horror movie is probably not a good thing for a child to watch. But it's okay, I think, to be able to be different things and play different things, because this isn't the Funkasaurus chopping people up and doing things like that. This is a character that I'm playing called Ethan, so it's different. And I think if you have an open dialogue where it's okay to say, "Hey kids, I appreciate the support, but this is a scary movie, and it's not something that I would have you watch." And I think it's okay to say that. I think if you act like you ignore it, then there's a problem. But I think it's okay to say that. There's some things you can't do with mom and dad, and there's some things you can't do with the Funkasaurus, and that's watch Ethan in a scary movie, unless your parents are okay with that.
Brodus, how pleased were you with the final cut of the film and your first foray into acting overall?
I got my first viewing. I was at a red carpet at the TIFF, the Toronto Film Festival. I was nervous. That's not even a word. I was like, I had butterflies in my chest the size of Mothra. Man, I was so concerned. Like, am I gonna sound corny? Am I gonna look stupid? Like you don't know. I thought, was all the karma gonna come back to me for every movie I ever badmouthed in the theater? so I was sitting there, and I was worried about the reaction of the people when I came on, and I was so nervous, my heart was racing, and then my opening scene went in, and I was like, okay, so far so good. And then eventually when my death happened, and it was kind of like a crazy death and stuff, the reaction of the crowd was cool. So overall, I was pleased with it. You always notice little things about yourself that you should have done better or whatever. But overall, I thought I did a good job. But ultimately, it's up to what the people see, and the few people that have seen it at this point, have said good things, and then everybody gets to see it May 10th. When it's opened up to select theaters all over the country, and hopefully I'll hear good things back. So I did my best, and hopefully my best was good enough.
Switching gears real quick, let's talk WWE for a minute if we can. Initially, you were coming into the company as this menacing character, and after a few short weeks, we get this smiling, dancing Funkasaurus. Talk about the switch to this fan-friendly character as you made your debut, more than a year ago.
What happened was backstage, man. I joke a lot. I'm always teasing and like clowning around and laughing, and locker room, I tend to be like always got something to say, and like trying to we're always laughing and stuff, and people would see that, and while we were working on the character, it was brought to my attention, like why are you not doing that out there? And I was like, well, obviously you wouldn't let me. And I looking at the lay of the land. Mark Henry was getting ready to come back, and he was going to be a monster. Kane was making his comeback. He was going to be a monster. Big Show has a lot of monster tendencies. So I wanted to be different. I wanted to take a risk. I wanted to try something that they hadn't seen since Junkyard Dog, and just bringing the kids back and dancing in the ring and trying to do something a little bit different. Of course, you evolve. The character evolves. The idea was to be pull it back at some point, be more serious in the ring at times, but just bring the entertainment value back, bring the character back. And so it was a risk, and it could have been horrible, but I think that fans wanted something like that, and families wanted something like that in terms of like a character that's fun and entertaining, and makes everybody want to dance and get up, and that's part of what wrestling is all about. The pageantry and the cool entrances and pyro and people being a part of it and wanting to be a part of it, and so I was very excited to give them that opportunity. And looking at it and how things have turned out, I think it was a great decision.
So Wrestlemania 29 just came and went. It was right in our area, the New Jersey, New York City area. And despite being booked on the show, your match got scrapped at the last minute and got moved to Monday Night Raw the following night. How were you told that you guys were being pulled from the show? And although I'm sure you were disappointed, are you making it a primary focus for you to make sure you're on the card next year?
The way that we were told was with the utmost class, and as best you could in that situation. We were told in Gorilla about 5 minutes before we were supposed to go out. And for me, personally, it was devastating. We worked so hard. It was going to be a big night. But I took a different route in terms of expressing. I wanted to be positive. I thought about my fans and the kids and stuff. Like we can learn. I can actually teach from this. We can learn from this. This is a great lesson in terms of life. And it wasn't an easy decision, but I had put a tweet out about like in life, sometimes you got to get your heart broke to know what you love. And I got a huge response from the fans. And then I said, I put another one out saying 365 to redemption. We will get back. We will get our opportunity. We will work harder. We'll put ourselves in a position where they can't possibly cut us due to time constraints. And it has just kind of grown. And now I'm actually I chronologize each day until WrestleMania. We're at day 24 today. And I started out with positive words of how we're going to approach the day and focus on our goals, and it's got a really big response from the fans, and they're taking a part of it, and I'm getting personal testimonies from people, like a lot of people talking about losing weight and focusing on school and getting their job right and being a better person, and I retweet each one and I save it, and I'm taking pictures of it. When I'm all done, we're going to print it all off, and I'm going to put in like a coffee table book, and or maybe find a charity that we can raise the money for a charity and get it out there. But you know, I took, and no mistake about it, like I was crushed, but I felt as when you're in a position where people look at you for reaction and stuff, to feel sorry for yourself or to place blame or to, you know, cry unfair, you know, you can take something, and it happens to us all the time. People get let down all the time. They've done everything right, and it just doesn't work out. You have to take it and use it, and that's what I'm doing. And some of the stories that are being shared with me, I'm just taken away and just very proud of. And you know, it's basically every day talking about what you're going to do to reach your goals. And there's been some people put some really lofty goals out there. Some people put some simple. One of them was like, my goal of redemption is to get a tweet from Brodus Clay. I'm like, you did it. Congratulations. Maybe raise the bar a little higher. And then some of the other ones were like dealing with weight loss and stuff. And when I first came back to the WWE, I was about 489 pounds. And now I'm down to 362, and working and training hard and watching what I eat and staying in the weight room, you know, and it's been a lot of like ups and downs and stuff. And but focusing on that and being on the positive and giving people something to talk about makes you relatable, you know. So it's really taken on, and it's not scripted. It's not something me and the writers came about. Like I'm doing this regardless of whatever the outcome is, you know. And some people say, well, it's too early, but you know, I don't think it's ever early to build on something. And some of the people that I've been getting to know through this has just been really like an eye-opening experience for me. So definitely taking a negative and turning it into a positive.
You know, Brodus, you talk about turning a negative into a positive, and although you didn't get to work at WrestleMania 29, you did get to work the following night at Monday Night Raw from the Izod Center. It was a legendary episode of Monday Night Raw, basically because of the crowd in attendance, just a wild, raucous party. Talk about what that was like for you as a small consolation to be able to work the following night on Raw.
You know, that crowd is a monster crowd, and two things happened that night. When we went out there, my character dances. So whatever they chanted, I danced to it. And it turned the tide. And by the time that was over, they were with us at the end, dancing with us and clapping. And I thought, these guys are going to eat us for lunch. You know what I mean? And it was like one of those things where there was moments where they were being their evil selves, but then at the end of the day, they just want to be entertained and they just want to feel a part of it. And the best thing about my character is it's nothing wrong with me turning to somebody in the crowd going, what's up? You know, or like, hey man, for real? That's what's going on? You know, and talking to the crowd and making them feel a part of it. And, you know, because the big thing with my partner, Sweet Tees, he's got a few names. And they like to chant, you know, his old names or whatever. And when I yelled out, "It's Sweet Tea, come on, help me out," you know, and they're with me. So it was a tough crowd, but it was a crowd that just wanted to play. And I think if you play with crowds like that, you can have a lot of fun with them. If you take it personal, you know, like the waves and everything else, like it was great. You know what I mean? So that's part of it. That's part of the WWE. That's part of the fans being involved. Is just as important as the kids dancing in the ring with me at the end. Is the fans have a voice, and I think we should encourage it. And I hope we get more crowds like that. I think it's great.
Brodus, you've been so gracious with your time today. We're really excited for you for the film No One Lives. Is there anything else you'd like to leave for the readers of localbozo.com?
Oh man, just thank you so much for checking it out, and you can always reach me at Brodus on Twitter. And you hit me up, I'll follow you back, and you know, maybe be a part of 365 to Redemption. That'd be cool. So any way I can help.
WWE Universe, the Funkasaurus Brodus Clay makes his big screen debut in the suspense film No One Lives out on May 10th. You can also catch Brodus and all the WWE Superstars on pay-per-view for WWE Extreme Rules on Sunday, May 19th, and locally here in Long Island at the Nassau Coliseum on Tuesday, June 4th for a SmackDown taping, and tickets are available now. Of course, we've been speaking with WWE Superstar, the Funkasaurus himself, Brodus Clay. All the best of luck on No One Lives and in 2013, my friend.
Thank you very much, man. Appreciate you.